So I alluded to that story on PKN, and I was told that I could tell that story if you guys want to hear
the old fashioned. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to try to start at the beginning, and just know that I've had to interview 3 different people to get all of this. And so if I get things just a little bit misconstrued with the timeline, I apologize, but I'm doing the best I can. There's just so much to take in. So This is a story about a guy who's 21 years old, who's tangentially related to some friends of mine in their gaming group. And
How's
stuff.
his ass?
Big. He's about 3
story.
Big. He's 300 pounds. He's a 21-year-old guy, and he's a virgin. And he's a very fragile, emotional guy, it turns out. I put that together through a lot of these stories. But long story short, they're doing this big meetup. Everybody's going to meet at one guy's house, and they're going to party and hang out, kind of like what I did in Colorado with my buddies. But they're going somewhere else.
I find it hard to believe that 21-year-old 300-pound virgins watch a dope show like this. But carry on.
Well, that's the thing. They said he doesn't watch anymore, so it's cool. So he drives 16 hours to this friend's house, this gaming friend. They all meet at the house. Let's call it 3 to 5 of them. And they're trying to figure out the sleeping situation, right? Because it's not a mansion. And he's like, oh, don't even worry about me. I like to sleep on the floor in my sleeping bag, just like at the dorm. He hasn't ever slept in a bed. He's been sleeping in a sleeping bag on the floor always. That's how he feels comfortable. No beds for him. Don't worry about it. So he also notices
out of that.
Like The Blind Side.
He also notices that the grass isn't cut at this guy's house, who, his host. He's like, hey, I noticed your grass wasn't cut. He's like, yeah, I don't know. And so the guy wakes up the next morning. They partied that night, so call it 11 a.m. And we'll call this guy Pete. Pete is our star. Pete cut the fucking grass at 5 a.m. that morning with this man's lawnmower. Not only that, because the man doesn't own an edging tool like a weed eater, he went and got one so that he could edge this man's yard up real nice.
The 21-year-old 300-pound virgin is out doing labor.
Out at the crack of dawn, cutting this man's yard and edging it up without being asked or asking for permission himself. So they go to the casino that night, right? And they're like, playing slots and stuff like that, just penny slots. And someone's explaining to this Pete like how casinos work, how there's no clocks on the wall, so you can't tell where you are, and all this money is just getting poured in. And like, I know I'm losing right now, I just don't care. And he starts crying. Pete starts crying because it's such an awful thing.
The idea of gambling?
Idea of sort of Western civilization and how wasteful and vice-filled we are. And just the casino environment, it upsets him so much he cries.
He's like the Green Mile.
He's
absorbing all this pain.
So that night they decide, after a bit of gambling, they're going to go to the strip club, right? Let's see some titties, right? So they're walking in, and one of the guys, who's normal, says, when's the last time you saw a lady's tits in person? And he goes, maybe 2 weeks ago. My mom was changing. I was hanging out with her, having a chat, and she was changing.
That's hilarious. Wasn't it a joke?
And they go, you didn't, you looked at your mom's boobs? He's like, well, we were having a conversation. It's rude to just turn your back.
Okay. You know what? He's right.
All right. So things are going to
Norman Bates now.
If I was talking to you when you turned your back, Kyle, I wouldn't like that.
Dick, the things are going to start adding up here very quickly. Okay. So we get into the strip club, and the boys know that this guy's a virgin. So they're like, let's send him in the back with a girl, and let's tell her it's on us, and let's let him have some fun.
Hooking him up, yeah.
He's a rough looking guy. Let me just say that right out the gate. I don't know what you're picturing, but
rough like Wild West, like pirate, or not
rough like Hodor when he was a younger fella. And so Pete goes in the back with this vile fucking stripper, but by the time it's over, he has gotten himself a condom on $500 hand job. And
wait, what?
and a condom on $500 hand job right there in the back.
That condom on. All right.
Okay. And at some point, like, she gets on his phone and is literally trying to transfer money out of his bank account. He's like, no, don't do that. And so get in the car, and they're driving home, and they hear a noise in the back of the car.
Again?
He's sobbing because the hand job was so traumatic. He's sobbing over the traumatic hand job. And what's more, and I'm not going to laugh at this because it's so dark. That night, and every night afterwards, he had night terrors about the hand job and how traumatic it was.
And I was just laying there. I was awake, but I couldn't move. She was beating my dick.
Nocturnal emissions with his the first ever case.
Yeah.
He decides there's
like
only...
she gets the phone and transfers all his money.
That's right. I have the night terrors.
It gets so much worse. He decides there's only one cure for these night terrors. He has to replace that terrible sexual experience he had with a good one. Yeah. So what does he do? Get on Tinder, maybe hit the scene, like going bar to bar, just talking to girls? No, he finds himself a prostitute. She's 2 hours away or something. She's $200 an hour and 1 hour away. That's the score.
Okay.
She's pretty hot, I'm told. Like think hot chick. I looked at her profile and it's just her ass, so it's that's all I got to go on. But they said she was pretty. He drives an hour and he buys an hour with her. But he's so scared that they cuddle and watch TV for the entire hour. And she's like, honey, I've got another date after this. Like, that's it. And he's like, okay, thank you, ma'am. And he drives back to them an hour back.
No.
But he's still horned up and he's talking to them. He's like, you know what? I think I'm ready. So he calls her back up.
Running out of money.
No, he's on. Trust me.
Okay.
He's got way too much. The girl who was trying to transfer the money out of his bank account, she almost got it all. But the prostitutes and the strippers, they're not there yet. He decides, I can do it this time. So he books 2 hours this time. And so he shows up.
Yeah. Virgins are known for how long they last.
He gets himself a good 30-40 minutes of cuddling in. And then he says he has sex with her twice, and it lasted for a total of 1 minute and 15 seconds. Both
Each?
times. No. No. He also described.
He could have, in theory, booked 90 seconds instead of 100.
This guy
minutes.
tells the truth too much. This is the most criminally honest person on earth.
Good. So when he kills somebody, he'll confess right away.
He described her on top of him as missionary, so it's hard to tell if they actually had doggy or if what that actually meant. But that's what he said happened. And then he had 30 more minutes on the clock after he came the second time, and she was like, you know what? I'm just gonna fucking go.
Oh God!
I'm peacing out, and she just left, straight up left, and so he drove back again. I'm imagining he's paying for hotels each of these trips out there as
She's
well.
Not getting a good cussed set survey.
No, he was so pleased.
I want to see her
service.
Yelp reviews.
I'll send it later.
She's a whore. And 5 stars.
My friend who was the host, it's his house who's getting like the yard done every night. He said, I had stocked the house with snacks, because I'm having all these guys come in. I've got beer and drinks and all sorts of like cookies and stuff. He's like, have you ever seen an obese person stress eat? And I started thinking about it. No, I haven't. When Wings of Redemption was at my house, I'll say this about Wings. When he was at my house, regardless of exercise or whatever, he did not go crazy with food ever once, unless he really somehow like snuck out in the night. And I do not believe that happened. He never went crazy with his diet at all. He said this guy went and got a 12-pack of moon pies. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Zach, but I think a moon pie is about 450 calories. A moon pie is graham cracker, marshmallow in the middle, and it's all covered in chocolate. It's decent little
It's just 3 different kinds of sugar.
It's 3 different kinds of sugar, and they're wonderful.
He says. Okay.
Oh, that's all. Well, I don't feel so bad now. I think there's big ones, though. See if these are the big ones. They're individually
What's a serving
wrapped.
size? Like a third of a moon pie?
Anyway,
That's how they get you.
He goes and gets a 12-piece box of them, and my friend's like, I looked over and I saw you had the box, and then I started watching TV for a few minutes, and we made it like 8 minutes into a video, and I looked back, and he'd eaten 8 of them. And I said, bro, they're individually wrapped for a reason. I was like, you did not say that. You did not say that to his face. He's like, I did. I swear on my mother's life. And one more thing. They were chilling on the couch, and like my friend's, chilling on his own. He's on his own couch, like curled up on the couch, watching TV or whatever. Maybe there's a group of guys around. It's dark. It's night. And Pete, he said Pete is very pedextrous. which means he can like do stuff with his feet, and he's always trying to play footsie with you and trying to pinch your toes with his big toe and his. And
I thought pedextrous was when you could molest a child with both hands.
It was like when they told me all these stories, like they, you know. Oh, and then another time, I don't know if I mentioned this, but they're in the living room partying, like drinking and smoking, and like music's playing, and all of a sudden they hear, and he's sobbing again in his sleeping bag behind the couch.
Is that 5 cries?
He cried every night.
Oh my
God!
God.
I think that might be the 5th cry.
It's like a foster dog.
He cried like the whole fucking time.
Like a foster dog.
Oh, and then the last thing, and this one kind of like made me feel bad about the whole thing. Like the last day he was there, I think it was time for him to go, but he drove himself. So, you know, what time are you going to leave, right? You're going to leave at 10 a.m., right, buddy? No, it's like noon or something. He's still there. And he asked the host, he goes, hey, could we please watch the last episode of The Boys together? And he was like, Kyle, he asked so politely, there was no way to tell him no.
I like it.
So we sat and we watched the last episode, but I made him keep his shoes on.
So no, there was no footsie pinching?
No footsie
going on
whatsoever.
Why did this happen? Was this like an outreach program for special needs weirdos? House that you
it's just him trying to party with a bunch of guys, and they invited a guy they'd never hung out with before, and there's a few other things, but I can't tell them because it makes other people look bad too, and I don't want to do that. But the whole thing is real sad. And when I kept hearing the story from different people, and each person had more details, and the first person who told the story was him, by the way, so don't think I'm like talking behind his back. Like, he told us this fucking story. It is one of the saddest things I've ever heard. And the mom stuff, and the pinching my buddy's feet with his toes is just so bizarre.
That would upset me. I don't want someone else's feet touching my feet, or I don't want someone else's feet touching me. Like,
not a man.
When I was 4 years old, my grandpa would do that. It's like I'm gonna get you kind of thing. I don't want a grown-ass man doing that shit to me in 2022, though, okay? Like, Taylor, if we were chilling on the couch, stoned, like watching Lord of the Rings, and you started pinching my... like even more realistically, if you tried to, like, pull a tuft of the hair that's on my feet and make some Hobbit reference with your toes, I'd get up and leave.
You know what I would do if you didn't leave? I'd be like, this fucking weirdo just let me do that.
Bro, you were supposed to freak out. I thought I was being edgy.
I was giving you a shit test and you failed. Get the hell out, sir.
So fucking weird.
That is, but I feel bad for this guy. Like, first of all, what was the total amount of cash he was out? Like,
feel bad for the hooker.
1,100.
Well, not the first hooker. The first hooker got to watch fucking King of the Hill for an hour and then go to the next job.
And toe cuddle with
hooker.
this guy?
Yeah. Same hooker twice. He just booked the same girl again.
Oh, no.
The hot one, though. You say
yeah. It was a hot girl he had sex with.
She's not transferring all his bank account money, and she's hot, and she fucks him twice in 2 hours.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, that makes sense, because I think of hookers as, I don't know, decent women making a living the old-fashioned way, and I think of strippers as like vile reptiles who can't be trusted, who'll go through your phone and steal your money.
He's also acting like it seems like in his head, being 21 and a virgin is like being 31 and a virgin. Like, you're 21. Like, you've got time to get it together. You're fine. Like,
no, he does not have it together. No.
I don't know. I don't know what this person looks like. I'm saying he's got time to put it together. He's 21 years old. A young Hodor, tall. That speaks to
he's got grass stains on his shirt at 6 a.m. from secret midnight yard trimming.
The most bullshit thing that I heard in that whole story was this guy thought he was being courteous by mowing the lawn at 5 a.m. Dude, that is so... I would be livid if my neighbor started doing lawn work at 5 a.m.
Which dude is he, Kyle? Camera dude?
The one holding the camera. That'd be funny, right? Like, which one are you? I just like to take the pictures. So you're into photography? No. I just prefer it that way. He's I wrote it in there which one he is.
You need to stop going. I think he's fucking himself over in the long run trying to speed run with his prostitute strategy.
You're wrong.
Because he's going to get
well.
older and older into his 20s without like learning how to organically like get something going in a conversation.
You're wrong.
Nah,
You don't
yeah,
think so?
that's good experience.
Here's what I think. I don't think, and like straight honesty, based on how odd he is, and again, being very honest here, you know how he looks there. I think that he's gonna. What he really needs to do is learn how to negotiate with prostitutes better. That's his best ticket in life. Like, learn how to negotiate with prostitutes better. And here's what you'll achieve. You'll achieve sex whenever you want it with women that you would never be able to sleep with otherwise.
I don't know.
For free if you're quick.
I think this guy has more charm than you're
Does he
letting
look
on,
quick?
Kyle. I think he has a very good shot at the third most popular host on this podcast, just based on his lawn care skills alone.
Okay, now that's fair. That's fair. I bet if he stayed at
You'd
your house,
let him mow your lawn at 5?
I
Can
let
you
him
imagine-
do a lot
imagine
if he
Woody,
mowed my yard.
Woody looking outside and Hodor's out there on his tractor just going to town. Cleaning the- It's like, Woody, I noticed that you didn't have a certain kind of disc mower, so you can't really get the angles, but I went and rented one. No, certain parts of that story made me think of him in a good way, and then certain parts made me very afraid of him, and like I would lock my door if he was at my house. So I don't know. Odd fellow. And the crying.
In my stable if he was at my house.
The
tractor's in
the crying is a big thing. He's gotta get a handle on the open weeping. It's very unsettling to have a man openly weep around you.
Here's a good question. What
Like
is,
when my mom died, I was like, "Come on, guys."
like there's a time and place for some crying, but like
Taylor, I hope you get only one of those an episode of My Mom Died Trump card. Oh, boy.
If I had a nickel for every time.
Here he goes. Bingo. We're drinking. Taylor talking about his mom dying again.
literally every time
Taylor
he's
does an Asian accent.
Okay, now that's fair. The Asian accent one, that is a bingo one. It's just so damn easy to do a bad one. Like, it's just like there's no critique there. Like, no one.
My mom died. She tried to kill me. There's one other guy I've talked to who tried to do this multi-nut thing with prostitutes. Like, this guy's called into my show a couple times. He's on. It started out really innocent. He was trying to fuck this girl he'd been writing to in prison, and she was playing hard to get.
Who's
He
in
was like,
prison?
The girl.
Okay.
The girl was in prison, and he was writing to her, and she wasn't responding to him fast enough because, she was in prison, and he had a problem with that. And it turned out he's like a huge psycho who's not legally allowed to use the internet in Australia because he's harassing people too much.
I like this guy. Let's get him on the show.
And he's crazy.
He's banned from online.
In Australia.
So he'll write me emails about how he's like on his way to see a new prostitute, and he'll have like a bottle of champagne on the subway to meet her. And he talks about how many times he'll come in his hour of seeing these prostitutes. But then I found out he's on the prostitute blackball website. Like, they've got a private, it's in Australia where prostitution is legal in some places. They've got their own private prostitute website where you have to prove that you're a prostitute to join. And like he's got the biggest thread there. Like, he's like the Jack the Ripper, but he still manages to find hookers who will fuck him. It's so funny.
So does he not pay them? Like,
No.
Why are the reviews so bad?
Because he's a fucking lunatic. Like, he tries to get as much as possible. He's the biggest wheeler dealer in the world when it comes to hookers. He's like, okay, so I see like $150 for, a condom blowjob. Okay, so do you think that I could get you pregnant? And they'll be like, no, sorry, honey. Like, they have their like whore talk, like, oh,
Yeah.
baby, you so sexy. No, I don't think so. Let's just say, they don't realize how crazy he is. He's like, okay, and then he'll send them like a readout of his testosterone levels, like, and his semen count, which he sends to me too. I don't know, well, because he's crazy.
Is it a
So-
good count?
Do you
It
know
must
what
be
that-
if he's sending pamphlets about it.
I don't know if it's a good count. Like I didn't
It's
read
like
it.
maybe it's a really bad count. So he's like, "Come on, let me buzz." Like,
I want to know what his testosterone count is.
Oh shit! I'll pull it up. I'll try to find it during an ad read.
Yeah, I'd love to know.
no. So this
Well,
guy
that's bizarre.
is blackballed from all of the whores in Australia.
I want to know more about this.
He
site.
didn't even steal.
Chris the
here's
Kiwi.
here's where my head immediately went to. That here's a site, and you have to prove you're a prostitute to get access to the site. Which, in my mind, thinks, well, I make a website, and then every prostitute has to fuck me to get access to it. What better way is there to prove your bona fides than to sleep with the webmaster?
Yeah. Yeah.
Woody,
you
I don't know
start
if
a site called like reliableprostitutes.woody and and then it's like, oh, I'm sorry, do you want a place on reliableprostitutes.woody? You're gonna have to come over and complete my survey.
This is like a monkey paw wish. Uh-oh. Then you'll hear the thundering in the distance of the stampede of fat prostitutes coming to your house like, oh shit! I didn't think this one through.
I forgot to set it to female only. You
Trans
certainly are
entrances in
hung,
the
Rex.
back,
Oh!
please.
Trans entrance is in the back, so to speak.
Yeah, but I didn't know what. Maybe they're Blue Chew users. They try to like keep it hard and disguise their nut. He's walked me through some of his experiences where he's like, oh yeah, then I nutted and I didn't let her know, so we kept going. Yeah, man, that sounds like fun, kind of the way you're saying it. I don't know if it is though.
I mean,
It
women tend
seems
to
like he
know
just
when
rips
you nut.
women off. He's just really trying to get as much for as little.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for him. That's a conscious
It's-
consumer.
You know, I can't think of the weird kid at my school, but I was telling you about that weird kid last week, Taylor, the one that was
Yeah.
crying on the trip. I felt a little bit bad. I felt I was a little bit harsh on him or something. I was talking to those guys, and they were like, "Oh, I don't feel bad." I just remember he talked about how he really liked torturing animals too, and
Oh,
how he
God.
spends a lot of time thinking about how he could torture women and people, and how it really intrigues him, and it intrudes on his thoughts a lot. The ideas of like torturing and harming.
Now, I'm willing to buy into anything for content, but
Let me keep,
that
and he
seems
also
a little far-fetched.
he told them that as a kid he would pull the legs off of beetles like one by one and then watch them like wiggle as just a shell, and he would do this, and also with salamanders he would like hold them down and slowly like pull all the limbs and the tails off of them so they could just they had to
Whoa.
wiggle then.
If that's true, that's fucking psychotic.
Let's pull him
That's-
up on Facebook, see if he's murdered anyone since then.
Yeah, that's
Profile
Dahmer
pics is
level.
like
Oh,
a wingless bird.
Yeah. Harley, like just like fast forward you, this guy went on like a trip with a bunch of gaming buddies, and he was crying like the whole time, like weeping like a grown 21-year-old man weeping, and he got a hand job from a stripper and he paid $500 for it, and he was having night terrors about it because it was so rough on him. I guess it was his first sexual experience with a woman, so then he hired a prostitute, spent another $600 having sex with her. And then just lots of weird shit on this trip where these guys spent a week together. And I felt a little bad that I talked about all that stuff and how weird he is. But then I found out about the torturing animals and wanting to hurt people.
But he
stuff.
was
And,
crying the whole time,
like
like
he's,
throughout the hand job,
like
or
weeping
after?
after in front of his friends. Like the boys were riding home in the car and he's just like weeping openly.
Yeah, because she was still alive.
Yeah.
That's what I said. He didn't get to
He
finish
was
the
so
job.
sad.
Wait. Why is he? And like, it's like no disrespect to anyone who's listening and cried from getting a hand job.
Yeah.
Why was he crying from getting a hand job? Do you
He
think?
said it was traumatic, and so much so that he had night terrors every night thereafter. So
Traumatic.
It kept him up. So
But
he
what's
did
the
a-
night terror that
Did
he's
he
getting
use a
the hand
spiked
job again?
glove? Yeah, like
I don't know. He wore it was a condom on hand job from a stripper for $500.
That just sounds overpriced. Maybe
It's-
he's
Yeah.
Yeah,
way
I'm thinking
overpriced.
like
I wouldn't-
I would be having night terrors. I'd be like, my money, my money.
the night there is just like $500 just burning. Yeah.
No, he was happy with the financial part of it, but I didn't like hearing it. They mentioned a cat too. I don't know if he actually tortured a cat or if he just wanted to get one. But no, that stuff kind of creeped me out about him, so I don't feel so bad about making fun of
Dude,
him.
if they have evidence he's an animal torturer, Get that guy.
Is there
outta
a
here.
crime again? Is that a crime everywhere?
Yes, it's a crime.
Well, it's a crime to cry after a hand job.
Yeah.
Pussy law.
Yeah, one count of being a bitch.
No, that's a little big.
Two to be served concurrently with being a virgin.
You,
So-
you should slow down. When he comes and gets me, I will be forced to give him your address.
Well, I'm going to have a whole guard set up of innocent animals that he won't be able to resist, mercilessly murdering as he walks into my home.
You
And
just
then
have a bunch
I'll
of
be aware
sheep
it.
and like beetles in the front yard.
Dude, he comes to my house. I'm gonna turn the tables on him. I'm gonna have Reservoir Dogs playing in the basement, and I'm
Okay.
gonna be like, "I've been practicing my Michael Madsen. Will you help me?"
Mm.
And then I'll be like, "No, don't worry. We're gonna take like 8 takes. I got a bunch of needle and thread. Put that ear right back on, buddy." And that's how you would do.
Yeah, and but I had that instance where somebody was regaling me with a bit of a tale of how they all went on one of it. So we've got like a gaming Discord, right? I say, the PKA Discord, but I game in it. So that to me, it's that.
Mhm.
And I guess we've all kind of got a tight knit group. These guys go on trips together in real life now. A lot of them do. And like they invited this one guy on the trip they didn't know very well. And they were talking about how he was like scarfing down the fucking, the what's
Like
little
moon
Debbie's?
pies.
And the moon pies. And the guy was like, I had bought those moon pies. Those were my moon pies. He's like, there's 12 in a box. And after he ate the 4th one, I said, hey, dude, they're individually wrapped for a reason. And I just thought, like, that's such a good, like there's no retort to that. You
No.
just have to be like,
You just sitting there with moon pie on your face.
you just avoid eye contact and finish your moon
It's
pie
like-
and go to bed.
No, and like, have you ever had a moon pie? The very idea of a second, like it is the most dense.
Wait, I have to pull
three
this up.
forms of sugar.
Your mouth
Yeah.
would be so dry.
Look up a moon pie. It's like the kind of snack that like truckers get at gas stations when their blood sugar's low, and you need when you need 400 calories of
That's
sugar
a
right
moon
just now.
pie.
So as a
Okay,
kid,
because
I
in
enjoyed it.
Canada,
They are
Zach,
good.
can we have a moon pie picture?
Oh, it was a moon pie when you hang on, let me guess. In Canada, a moon pie is when you come on a girl's ass.
no, that's pretty good though. Man's ass.
That's what
No,
I call it
Man's
here.
ass.
I thought you were
Yeah, I got-
talking about a half moon because that's what we sell in Canada. You guys know half moons?
No, I haven't heard of that.
You could fucking
That's when those
crush.
girls wear those pants where they like.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is a half moon in Canada. You see this item? You see this
Yes.
item?
Yeah,
Only
we
look at half of it, and now take the chocolate off of it.
Oh, that's your fucking healthcare system at work.
Yeah,
That's what y'all pay for in exchange. Y'all
No.
get
So-
half the cookie and they take the chocolate.
No,
off.
but actually, it looks
Oh my god,
Man.
48
1,000 times better than that.
I'm
What?
so glad
Fuck
pulled
you.
this up, Zach.
No, we spent the first 20 minutes of the show trying to figure out what gay is. Canadian moon pies are gay.
Yeah, I mean, our
You
moon
haven't pulled
pies
it
are
up
better.
yet. You have to see it.
You told us what it
Oh,
was.
no,
It's
no, I
ours
got it, I
without
got
this-
it.
the
No.
Yeah, it's
a
ours,
moon
but
pie is
worse.
when you
I could tell that those don't have the like this. The half moon's a Twinkie. It's a flattened
Taylor.
Twinkie.
Yeah.
Taylor, do you know what a Canadian moon pie is?
No.
It's when you come in a guy's ass.
Gotcha. Now you're gay. Yeah. Everyone, leave in the comments that Harley is gay. Harley's gay. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone knows he's gay. He's the gayest man in Canada.
Finster, get out
Very
of my
few people are that
dreams!
well known. He's the tallest Jew and the gayest Canadian.
No,
Two
the
things.
banana moon pie.
No, that's
Yeah,
no,
wait, I
that's
pulled
gross.
up a
Let me
Walmart
finish.
link. Pull it
Let
up.
me finish now. Look, that banana moon pie, one of my favorite childhood treats. Okay, love those fucking things. I will say this: it's like a Popeye's biscuit. This thing, that inside cookie, if they call it that, it is not a cookie.
It's all but
It is
powder.
a substance. That the cookie, if you will, of this is a substance that you have never put in your mouth before. Okay, it's crumbly and yet spongy. It's it's tough and yet it sort of melts in your mouth like cream or nougat or something like that. It's bizarre. They are not good. I do not recommend them.
I haven't had one since I was young.
Don't have a moon pie. I don't know anything
You
about
know, all these
half moon.
all these things, by the way, all of these, like these types of things like
Debbie's.
snowballs and ho-hos.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
all of those treats
Hostess.
are a billion times better in Canada. I'm not trying to defend my country's honor, like when you guys are making fun of being like, no, wait, the snacks are good. No, but I promise you guys, I don't eat Swiss rolls in the USA or snowballs or anything that like Hostess makes or whatever in the USA. They're so drastically different in Canada. It's crazy. And I think our half moons exist because what you're right, you might be right, like per individually wrapped food, like the calorie or sugar might be so high that we can only do the half.
Let me ask
moons.
you this. Do y'all do the Reese's with 4 cups in the fucking slider?
We did get that. The it's like it has a 4th cup, right? With
what
like
do you
a
mean
yellow
you did
band.
get that? You make it sound like
3.
it's the iPhone 14. Like, yeah,
It is.
That.
No, we got that. We got that like last year. The 4 cups came in like last year.
Dude, Reese's is the most like no one is innovating in get fat food like Reese's is. They have come out with fucking like I don't know,
But
big fat ones,
problem,
quad
though.
ones. You need giant
But
ones,
it's a
tall ones,
problem.
pretzel ones, potato chip Reese's.
But you know what?
Yeah,
I
and
have an
they're
issue
good.
with it. I love Reese's Pieces. I've always loved Reese's Pieces.
Reese's peanut butter
But
cups.
that's,
You want a little
here's
movie
the problem. Here's the
You want some
problem.
movie
I
trivia?
want Reese's Pieces. I don't necessarily always want Reese's Pieces with the peanut in it. And now I can only find Reese's Pieces with the peanut in it. There's no the old school Reese's Pieces at any of my corner stores.
They had Reese's Pieces.
You got to
It's
order
Reese's
it from
Pieces
the
with a peanut
Halloween
inside of it.
supply store. They
Oh,
have.
I've never
them.
had that.
You know,
Again, I like this piece of trivia he's about to give you guys.
Yes, I want to hear.
Do you know the trivia already?
No. I wanted you to ask,
It's
and then I wanted
ET
to see if I could
trivia.
guess.
You know, it's the ET trivia.
Yeah.
Oh, is it about
Re-
walkie-talkie?
Steven, it's about how a Jew saved Reese's.
Steven Spielberg wanted M&Ms. All right, he wanted M&Ms because that's his favorite candy, and they were like, "No, we don't. We're good. We don't want it in your weird fucking alien movie." And Reese's Pieces was like, "Yeah, hook us up. Let's do it. I bet aliens would love a nice peanut buttery treat." and that really saved the whole brand.
It was
because
that
wasn't doing
iconic
so hot.
scene where they're putting it down and he's following the candy and
Yeah.
eating it. Reese's Pieces, actually, Reese's was going bankrupt that year. They were like, they had been in the red for like a decade and it was over. And then sales went up like 8,000% after the movie and it never went down after that. Like,
Yeah,
so
now it's
cool
cool.
in the movie.
It has to be in the fucking movie theater now. Like every time you go to the movie, that's where you get it, Harley. If you actually wanted it, every time you go to the movie theater, that's just quintessential.
no, but it's Reese's
movie
Pieces with the
candy.
peanut in it in Canada.
I don't understand
at
what you
the
mean.
movie
Like peanut,
theater.
like actual hard,
like a full
nuts?
peanut?
Like
the
imagine like
lagoon?
a peanut M&M, but it's a Reese's Pieces, but it's a peanut.
I've never
M&M.
had that.
Okay, so
that's
explain
all
that to
we
me,
get
Harley.
here.
Go to the movie.
How does
theater
it
to buy
differ
his
from a peanut
candy?
M&M?
Is he still rolling in YouTube money?
It has it has the peanut butter still. It is a full Reese's Pieces,
Oh,
but it's like a big one. It's a ball like with a peanut inside of it.
okay. So
I'll eat
they take a peanut and then they cover it with peanut butter and then they wrap that in chocolate and then they put that candy coating on the top so it doesn't melt. And you don't want that.
I'm not saying I don't want that. I love it.
You've had enough, though.
also that's
You've had your fill.
that's everywhere. That's all you can get. And
What
you're
the
looking
fuck
at a
is?
Canadian
I
one.
thought it said peanut
I've never seen
arachnid.
this.
I was
Not only that,
Yeah,
not only
I
that,
see it too.
another way to
What
say
does it
peanut
say?
in French is cacahuète.
at a
So you should be
seed.
happy that they didn't put cacahuète.
Oh, is that French for peanut?
Yeah, at a seed.
Arachide. Or so is cacahuète.
Is it really?
Yeah, so is cacahuète. You're not taking that in. Cacahuète. And tired is fatigué. So
Fatigué,
tired is fat
cacahuète.
and gay, and peanut is cacahuète. Trust me, this is the shit we laughed at when we were trying to learn the language.
After the show here, remind me to tell you something that somebody told me about one of our patrons. It is the saddest shit I've ever heard in my life, and you're gonna want to hear it. I don't feel like I can say it without being like I can't, and I hate to like tease it out there, but what I'm gonna try to do is get permission to tell you guys from the guy who, because he told the story to some other people and they relayed it to me. No, I don't know who that is. But I want to know more about that person. If there's someone else who's like
I'm just
wicked
guessing,
pathetic.
so there's nothing there.
You like that, Taylor? Oh no, not that. No, this guy
Okay.
more pathetic than that times like 10 million. Like
This is
I don't
bumming
know.
me out.
You know,
I don't.
you know that thing when you're watching like Black Science Man, and he's trying to
dying?
explain to you how big a fucking planet or a black hole is or something, and it's like
Mhm.
10 to the power of 16 because you can't even fathom that number. It's like that much more pathetic. It's some dark shit, and I know this is like not good entertainment for you guys listening, but I'm gonna try to get permission to I might just retell it anyway. It's but not tonight. I gotta go talk to some people. It's the most pathetic shit I've ever heard. It's so sad. It's so much worse than what you're typing, Woody. Like 1,000. Woody. If two of these boys were going to be like, I don't know, if you had to pick one of them to be a member of your family now, one guy you're going to be proud of him, and you're going to be there at Christmas. You would put your arm around that person that you're typing about and be like, God damn it, I'm proud of you. I'm so glad you're not like that other guy Kyle told me about. Oh, I love you. Stay close forever.
Jesus Christ! Somebody dying?
Oh, they wish. I would rather die than be this person and be this pathetic. It's some sad shit. God, I should have said that shit.
I don't
It's gonna
know.
make it hard to tell the story now. I didn't mean that part.
That part was a joke.
Yeah, you've been so amicable
Just
up
kidding.
to now.
Is it good radio if I quickly type it and they get to see your reactions to it?
Yeah.
It's
What
that
is it?
awful.
What is it?
All right,
Is it good
I'm gonna be
radio?
quick. So
The best
Okay,
part of
so-
making good radio is making it so the people listening can see our reactions.
I'm not done yet. It gets worse. And then the next day,
Oh.
Oh.
Well, I can't. I want to read it because I want to fill the fucking air with some noise right now.
Okay. Redemption arc is about to occur, I think.
I don't know. Kyle is pretty critical. against this guy.
Oh, no. Wow.
I don't like this. I don't want to bully this guy. We got to start talking, guys. We got to.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah,
we're doing a radio
Taylor's
show.
the only one not okay with this dead air, and Taylor's the only one who's right.
okay, that's
Yeah.
the bulk
Well,
of it.
that's very sad. That's a huge bummer.
Now he's broken the seal. He's got it.
Yeah, he's on the ups. This is the beginning of a character arc, of a positive one. So I think
Do we know this? Would I know this person?
It's funny that you say that, Taylor. I'm glad that was your position because now,
just when I think I'm out, look at that.
yeah.
It's
So now,
crazy.
like you said, like now things are going well.
Yeah, now he's in the swing
now he's
of
on
it.
top of the world.
Tell me at least that first part, especially when combined with the other, and all in all, we're talking about.
I mean, now that I know he's doing better now, it's not as bad to poke a little fun.
I mean,
I thought you meant he was like on death's door or something.
Yeah, he told that story, so that's the only reason that I guess that I feel even a little bit comfortable telling you all of that awful stuff. And I'm sorry to you guys listening, but I didn't know how. I don't know what to do with this information. It's
I don't know
Well, I'll
what to
start
do.
reading.
Yeah.
don't do that. I
No.
feel so
Well, two
bad.
thumbs up to that guy. Looks like you're on the
Two
beginning
thumbs
of
up
the
to him for getting after it.
getting through the storm.